Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today it's going to be a Gosu game sent to me in a Gosu Gamers replay pack, and it's going to be KwAkSa versus Start here on Destination. I don't know who these players are, but if it's in the Gosu Gamers replay pack, then it's going to be excellent. Top side. Top left-hand side? Anyway, it's going to be the Teal Protoss player, KwAkSa. KwAkSa. Oh, that's a little bit different. It's a little bit different for sure. And then on the bottom side, it is the blue Terran player Start. So, again, don't know who these dudes are, but their APM is kind of insane, so they can't be that bad. And the Gosu Gamers replay pack is really just, it's something Lazaros sent me. It's just a collection of incredible games, sometimes featuring pros we know, and sometimes featuring people we don't. But they're always very good, or they're always very interesting and very unique in some way. I don't know what's in this one. Sometimes it's mind control. Sometimes it's somebody going like mass wraith to win a game. Like at the last, it's just weird stuff, man. I mean, not that mass wraith is all that weird in like TBT. We've seen that in the late game for sure. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Just stuff you don't normally see. Battle cruisers are often featured quite heavily. We'll see things like Devourers in the game, which aren't featured heavily either. So Gosu Gamers can sometimes be incredible play and sometimes can be unique play that we don't see a lot of. So I love these very, very much. These are really fun games. The last one I did was a total blast. So say thanks to Lazaros. If you see him on the street or something, I don't know how you'd recognize him because I don't know what he looks like either, but he's done some really nice things for the channel and allowing me access to these replays. I love the Ursidon penguin. I love how the penguin is an Ursidon for some reason. I don't get it. Anyway, PvT here, and I mean, generally what we're going to see here is mech. There's really no reason to do anything else if you're a Terran, but as this is a Gosu Gamers replay, we could see some weird things instead. So you'll notice we're in the Carbot skin, which I am tossing out today. I know I'm going to hear somebody in the comments say, I hate the Carbot skin, I wish it would die. Yeah, I hear you, man. But other people like it a lot, so that's how this works. You don't get everything that you want. What's the quote in Avengers? I don't always get what I want. Something like that. It's different, actually. What is the quote from Bruce Banner as the Hulk in the first Avengers movie? Yeah, I don't always get what I want, but it's like different. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I can't find it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying. You don't always get what you want. I think that's also a Rolling Stone song, too. So, it looks like I'm trying to build something down here. Or is that just debris? Is that a canceled building? I didn't hear a building get canceled, but it's also not sinking into the ground, so no canceled, just a pile of rocks for some reason. Not sure what that's all about. There's a banana in there, which I'm not as familiar with all the Carbot in-jokes, unfortunately, so I don't know exactly what that's about. I'm sure somebody in the comments can help me out, though. Right. Anyway, if you're watching this, you're probably aware that Flash is currently doing awesome stuff, playing in the ASL Finals. I think it probably already happened by the time this posts, but Artosis is giving him a lot of love on Twitter, and just, I don't know what else you could say about Flash. Just, I wish I had more of his replays, I think is what I can say about that. Alright, so Dragoon does take down the SCV. He is working on Singularity Charge. There's an expansion on the way. I really don't see anything here that indicates craziness yet, but I do have faith in this replay that it's going to be something strange at some point. So stick with me. Also, KwAkSa and Start are still with over 340 APM each at the 5-minute mark. So these are not just spammers. They're not high APM all-stars that do it for the first couple minutes just because you can, right? Nothing stopping you from doing it. It's not that hard. What they're actually doing is keeping it up. So we'll see if they manage to keep it up here. Starts around 400 now because he's a crazy person. But yeah, both players are kind of going nuts with that. Anyway, Dragoons are pushing across. We're going to get some harassment down, but there's nothing to harass here. The natural base doesn't exist yet. And there's already a tank out, which means that Start just didn't want to deal with this at all at this point. And he's just going to get rid of these Dragoons with his tank and his Marines. And he should be able to, with good micro, take down one of the Dragoons. And he does, but this tank, the repair, no repair. The Dragoon managed to make it in. Is our sound too low? It sounds too low. Like we're not getting... I don't know where we should be. Something's going on with the sound in the StarCraft client. Look. Okay. I don't know, whatever. It sounds good to me. If it's like something's out of balance here, let me know in the comments and I'll adjust later on. But I think we're just going to roll with this from now on. This Dragoon's being super annoying, getting a perfect scout out, by the way. Seeing everything the Terran player is doing, which is not much. Like, you're like, oh, holy smokes. It's an engineering bay. It's tanks being produced all over the place. Dragoon is so darn fast. Just waddling around here. Natural base is going to land. No problem. Dragoon can't do anything about that. And meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we have a Templar Archives. We have a Citadel of Adun. And we don't have an expansion yet, although it is coming down right this very second. As soon as I say that, the Nexus starts coming down. So it's going to be a Dark Templar rush. There you go. I was like, what is this tech for? DTs, man. DTs in that production. So a DT rush here against our Terran player. He has an engineering bay. He could use that to make turrets if he wanted to, but he doesn't have any detection at all. He doesn't have an academy. He doesn't have ComSat. He's not building turrets right now, which I think is going to cause him a world of hurt. Zealots and Dragoons and DTs heading on down. I love DTs so much. All right, one Zealot comes in to see what's going on. Gets obliterated for his trouble. Kakaru flying overhead. Dragoons here to try to take down... Oh, yeah, focusing that missile turret. Very smart to do so, even if... Right? Even if you're going to take some tank fire, taking that down is really important stuff. One DT going to sneak into the... going after the tanks. Here we go. Going into the tanks here. Missile turret on the way, but it's not here yet. Tank 1 down. Tank 2 getting focused at the same time. It is running for its life. Kind of getting stuck in here and does go down. And now the missile turret's not going to happen. And the natural base for the Terran player is absolutely going to be forfeit here. I don't know what you are. Go ahead, another turret trying to come by, but it does finish. Okay. Just in time here. He didn't actually kill the turret. He just killed the SCV building the turret. So nicely done. Ooh, the Dragoons are going to come in and sacrifice their lives a bit to try to save this DT. No, he gets taken down too. So DT rush, I don't know, fairly effective. A couple tanks went down. Why is the sound so low? Sound effects are crazy low. I don't know what it is. I should watch this back and see what we get. Huh. Anyway, another base on the right side. KwAkSa going for a quick third after delaying the natural base for some time. He's trying to catch up economically, and I think it's probably going to work out for him. In the long run, tanks continuing to be produced, because what else are you going to do here? An academy coming in too. He wants to be able to build those ComSat stations. Nothing else, honestly, to do with the academy at this stage. But Dragoons continually being produced. Gateway Robotics Facility on the way here too. And yeah, you probably saw in the title of this video that I put Gosu in the front on the title. It doesn't mean that it's incredibly highly skilled play. It just means it's part of the Gosu Gamers replay pack. So I don't know. I hope that makes sense. Oh, this music is too loud now. We're going to do this, is what we're going to do. It's not what, that's never what it's been, but I think something might have changed in the StarCraft client, and it's really freaking me out. Hate sound balance so much. Really respect anybody who does that for a living, especially like in movies and TV. Guess video games have it too, though, huh? You want to balance your sound. I'm sure you do. Okay, more and more Dragoons on the way. Observatory coming in. Throwing down a cannon to defend the third base would be a good idea, and it is. Forge up here for upgrades, and the observatory lives at the third, too. That seems pretty darn exposed. Really exposed, but it's all right, man. 3-basing Protoss, and this is kind of how you have to beat Terran if you're a Protoss player, is play at Zerg, man. Expand a whole bunch, because this mech is going to take some time to get geared up. So you expand here, maybe expand over here, maybe expand down here. Honestly, that's how we've seen it, man. We saw Light take down Flash as Protoss because he expanded 7 times and just threw huge waves of Dragoons at Flash every time he unsieged his tanks. He lost a ton of Dragoons, but it didn't matter because he had more bases and he had more economy. He just zerged it, man. He lost more units and won. That's exactly how you need to play this. Another cannon coming up here. Starts about 57 supply. He's getting out macroed pretty hard right now. 79 to 57 overall. I mean, that probe count alone is a pretty big deal right now. Out of KwAkSa. Tossing in another gateway because what else are you going to do here? Dragoons, unfortunately, sacrificing their lives as the early warning that we're moving out with these Vultures and these tanks. Vulture's not really doing much because there are so many Dragoons here. But yeah, I think you got to move out and catch these guys before they siege with the number of Dragoons that you have. No attack upgrades for anybody yet. +1 attack is on the way from KwAkSa, though. Coming on in the left side, we got Dragoons, we got Zealots trying to drop on top of here. The Zealots aren't doing very well with the number of Vultures that are present. And they are gone, and now it's just tanks versus these Dragoons. And they are forced to flee away. Even Vulture DPS is doing some work on them, too. Yeah, man. Zealots in here fighting. Vultures actually get picked off, which means the Zealots are going to do better against the tanks, and that forces the Terran player back. All right, fair enough. Pretty good counterattack here with those Zealots. Focusing down the Vultures with the Dragoon fire was a pretty smart idea, too. You'll notice my voice is a little bit raggy, just because I did go to an American football game a couple days ago from the time that I'm recording this, and, yelled a lot, let's just say that. Anyway, man, tank down, Zealot down. Start is still down about 20 supply, which is bad, but mech is more cost efficient, so we can be okay in that scenario. So yeah, tanks on the high ground really doing some work here. 3 kills on that one anyway. The other one's kind of lazier. 3 and 2 kills there too. So again, the important thing is for Protoss, he's on 3 bases. He should honestly expand. He has the resources to do so. He is working on another Templar Archives, which I'm kind of confused about, because he has the 1. And also a Stargate. So, also ground weapons, which indicates he's not going for carriers here. This is not a carrier transition at this stage of the game. It's definitely going to be gateway units for the next bit here. You don't get +2 attack for gateway if you're planning on transitioning to something else. But Vulture's trying to see if there's a base for them to snipe on this left side. There's definitely not. Got a bit of a snake down here, scanted in the grass. Spider-Mine's getting tossed down by these Vultures, trying to find a third base. They can't find it yet, but they will. Some of them... Oh, I thought they were heading over this way. Where are you going? Don't go in there. That's death. That is just a narrow choke with Dragoons who want to shoot you right in the face, man. Alright, so Vulture's trying to do stuff, just putting Spider-Mines everywhere, making it hard for KwAkSa to move around. Arbiter Tribunal on the way too. So gonna be gateway units with the Arbiters, which seems totally fine. Storm coming in. Ground armor being researched too. What is that icon for ground armor? Looks like a bathtub. I can't figure it out. What is that? Yep, don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments. Some of these Carbot things I don't quite understand. But High Templar are on the way for that Storm, which is going to be really good against the Vultures. Not bad against the tanks either. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a Gateway Arbiter style play, which you might want to start making some Goliaths to deal with the Arbiters if you are start here, which can be pretty annoying to deal with too if you're the Protoss, but so far doesn't have to worry about it. He's actually not making any Arbiters yet. He has the Tribunal. He's working on Stasis, but the Gateway is silent. Is he putting all of his tech over here? Why? Oh, he's supply blocks. Right, then. Engagement in the middle. Dragoons coming on in, but there are sieged tanks. Zealots coming in with their leg upgrade, but there are too many Vultures. This is not good for KwAkSa, and he's forced to retreat from the position, lest more of his units die. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about here. More cannons coming up on this right side. He really wants us to defend it because all of his tech lives over here. But Arbiter in production, that might be the last engagement we see without an Arbiter. No science vessels here either. He's just going to have to comsat his way into dealing with the cloaked units, which is weird. But here we go. Zealots getting on top of this again. The Vulture count looks a little bit too high, and they're microing themselves pretty well to take down the Zealots. Actually, High Templar storming on top of those tanks. Beautiful storms. But still not enough, as all the Dragoons end up falling. Yeah, tanks 3 kills, 6 kills, 3 kills. New to the party here. Shuttle with a couple High Templar in it, just trying to hang out, have a good time. Zealots gonna jump on top of this one tank anyway. And friendly fire helps to finish that guy off, that's for sure. Once it finished off, oop, another tank goes down. Another one takes another hit, but isn't dead yet. High Templar drops, sacrifices himself to toss a storm down, and weakens this other one here too. Not too shabby. Missile turrets, pretty good positioning here as well, making sure that the shuttles are not comfortable over here anyway. So we are setting up for a little bit of a 2-base contain action here. Start is not taking a third, which I found very, very odd. Is he making a command center at least? That one? No, he's not. Okay, fair enough, dude. Fair enough, man. Do what you can do. Yeah, tank's finally sieging on the third. I was going to say, when is this going to happen? When are we going to actually siege up on this third base is the question. Arbiter showing up. There are missile turrets to provide detection and a starport coming in, which I think is eventually going to be science vessels, but they're not here yet. And nor will they be here for quite some time. So the missile turrets have to provide the detection, which they're doing a pretty good job of. They're doing a pretty excellent job of, honestly. The missile turret might finish off this Arbiter, though. Hey, get out of there, man. Stop getting shot by stuff. And even though the cloaks are happening, missile turrets detection is enough. And it's not looking good for the Protoss player, is what I'm trying to say here. This right side base is entirely evacuated. The probe's heading up to their secret top right-hand base, but there's no gas income over there, which is bad news. And this is just a two-base style attack, which I don't think really should work. But, you know, since these aren't pros, why not? Why shouldn't it work, huh? The Vulture's coming on in, being a little bit cheeky. Zealots starting down the right path to try to take down these tanks. They do get one, but all of the Zealots die. The Vultures are fine, mind you. Spider-Mine's getting tossed down all over the place, and I keep glancing down at the minimap to see if there's a third base, and there is not. Goliaths are in production. Somebody just throw out a blind? That sounded like a blind sound. I don't know. Either way, Zealot's finishing off these tanks on the right side. But the base is already gone, so their job has been done. Ooh, and a stasis coming in on these Vultures. That's pretty good stuff. Man, if they ran back here and got like here, that's a lot of dead probes, yo. A lot of dead probes. So contained on the natural base, killing the third base and killing the fourth base is a winning strategy here for start. He's being more cost efficient with his units. So KwAkSa is going to get mined out before our Terran players. Where are these Zealots going? They don't know either. They're coming back around, though. Coming back around to get these tanks on the back side. Getting one. They might end up sniping the other one here, too, which is pretty good stuff. The control by Start is actually pretty impressive as he continues to lose tanks, though. Zealots are out as well. Arbiter here taking some shots from that Goliath. Charon Boosters is not on the way. Regular style Archon on the way, so not going for the Dark Archon style stuff. Probes taking down this Templar Archives, which they think is good, but there's another Templar Archives inside the main, so not much to worry about there. Zealots really want to make sure these tanks die. They're doing all right about it. There's only 2 tanks here, and I think most of them are pretty new to the battle. So keeping that tank count from getting super duper high is a wonderful thing. Vulture's clearing out this tech on the right side. Is that researching? It is researching that +2 attack upgrade, and it's going to finish before it goes down because Vulture DPS is embarrassing against buildings. The hockey coach. If you haven't watched Letterkenny, like, again, not for children, not safe for work, but some of the best, like, most entertaining writing I've ever seen in my entire life. The hockey coach is one of the funnest characters for sure. All right, so the Vultures are just going to take down the cannons because there are enough of them. And they have +1 attack, so why not? Which means this base is in a ton of trouble. Which means I don't know how the Protoss player does anything to win this game at this stage. He's up in total supply. I totally get that, but his probes are getting massacred. His advantage is falling into the toilet here. Are probes actually fighting against Vultures in this situation? Wow, they get one. That should not happen. Should not happen at all. So they actually take their futures into their own hands and take down those Vultures. Dang, son. Hey, another group of Vultures. Go over here and finish these dudes off. Hey, third base is down. Starts not 2-basing it for the rest of all time. Very happy about that. Recalls coming in. I mean, I guess this could just be a recall across the other side of the map. Just base race, but they always say never base race a Terran. Oh gosh, these probes again. Are they going to try to fight once more? Against this many? Not against this many. Oh, they're walking into tank fire now. That's just suicide. All right, see ya. See ya, guys. And the army coming to defend that base too. So, I think this is just a Terran win. I'm trying to figure out what's Gosu about this. EMP's on the way. Charon Boosters coming up a little bit later than you'd expect with a super duper high level game, but APMs are still at 200 after 19 minutes, so I'd assume we're doing all right for ourselves. That base might stay, and it does. It's on fire, but it's not dead, and that's so important here in StarCraft. As long as you're not dead, you are an effective effective unit to 100% of your effectiveness. So KwAkSa says, I'm not going to deal with that little siege you've got set up at my front door. We're going to come down this right side. See if there's a base for us to kill. But there's not, so we're going to pull back, which is totally fine. Starts up 125 to 91 supply. He's been doing really well on total supply here. You know, there's really nothing stopping you from getting in here and wiping out that base with a couple tanks. This is the army of KwAkSa. It is here. It is not at the natural base anymore, but it turns out scouting is really important stuff. So oh, is there a recall down here? Of course there was. Alright, there's a single recall down here, which is trying to do some stuff. Man, that teal is hard to see on that green grass. I was like, where the heck did Start's army go all of a sudden? I thought this was it, but they were spider mines. I thought that was it, but that was like missile turrets and stuff. So the recall does do some good work here. Trying to shut down that third base too. And you know what? The Dragoons with their +3 attack are pretty scary. Better upgrades than the tanks anyway. And KwAkSa is actually way ahead all of a sudden. After that drop, he's at 97 supply to 55. Continues to plummet here for the Terran player. High Templar comes over. Does he have enough energy for a storm? He does not even have close enough to energy for a storm. So there are still Protoss units killing stuff in here. The long distance mine is for reals. This command center probably should just land. Start is producing tanks and vultures as fast as he can, but it really looks like the tide has turned here for KwAkSa. This does manage to sneak the Arbiter in here. And I don't know. I really don't know what the Terran player does to stay alive here. I'm trying to figure this out. His blue are exactly the same shade blue as Start, and they are just critters, but by golly, there's 3 of them here. And they look like Terran units, but they are not. Alright, so third base is on fire in the corner. Really needs to get repaired or something at this stage. Vulture's coming up to try to take down the probes at the third base, which they're doing a pretty good job of while getting wrecked on by a cannon at the same time, so that's never good news. Bears, oh, coming up means, yeah, okay, means spider mines will kill you, and then reburrow if they don't kill you, because they can try it again. Alright, man, so it's 85 to 55. What an incredible back and forth game this has been so far. Command center going to re-land at the third base. I don't know how many SCVs are remaining for the Terran player. He lost a whole bunch because they were trying to long distance mine from side to side here, and bad things happened. But really big, scary Protoss army with all the upgrades. +3, +2 on that armor, working on +3 on that armor. Just +2 attack for the mech units, and that's about it. Tanks need to siege approximately now, although they also need to cover this road into their base. And this SCV needs to get repairing that command center immediately, if at all possible. More Arbiters in production here for KwAkSa. Observers do get picked out of the sky. Got our science vessel in here. E = mc². Is this thing getting repaired? It is. By golly, it's getting repaired. About time, Mr. SCV. Observer coming in for round 2 of scouting information to see what's going on. And no, says the science vessel and the combined might of those Goliaths. So I don't know, we're effectively 3-basing it here. KwAkSa still has a massive lead, but still continuing to produce vultures. Why the engineering bay? You lost your engineering bay, I get that, but you're not making bio. Do you need upgrades somehow? I'm trying to figure this out. Really trying very hard to make sure we get this all on the same page. Probes transferring this way? There's not a nexus over here, guys. Here? Oh, over here. I gotcha. With a Rhinodon? Yep. Rhinodon piggy over here. A really, really flat face. So yeah, after all of the excitement, it's been pretty slow for the last couple minutes. I gotta say, Spider Mines focusing on the fact that there are probes coming down here, providing that incredible vision. Vulture trying to see if there's any armory hiding in the back corner. There's not. Shields coming in, more and more Zealots in production all the time. The production just seems better for the Protoss player. Spider-Mine's getting tossed down. And you know what? There is an Observer here. So that did not go well for the Spider-Mines at all. Vulture trying to shut down that third base again, but the cannon count is just a little bit too much high, or too high for them. Comsat station coming in once more, just continually scanning everywhere. 130 to 96 supply. Yeah, we're 25 minutes into this thing, and both players seem pretty confident to be where they are. What's up, vacuum cleaners on your robotics bay? And I don't know if there's anything funny about the Arbiter Tribunal, but it looks pretty cool anyway. Even without the lulls. Observer cruising on back home. As third base is established and a bunch of gas coming in here too. So Star's economy is pretty fantastic. The Vulture trying to come up this left side. Cannon placement is really messing with the mining, but I don't know, it keeps those dudes alive. So trade-offs, huh? Trade-offs, I guess. I love this little bunker door built into the side of the mountain there. Kind of feels Fallout-y to me. And we're trying to sneak a drop down this way. Reaver drops at 26 minutes. I'm down. Oh gosh, but the shuttle... Oh, shuttle with Reaver dies. That is horrible. He was counting a lot on that, man. A lot relying on that. Spider-Mine's coming up the right side. Where'd the science vessel go? Get rid of that Observer, man. Then coming up the left side here. Vultures come in first. Hiding back. I heard that recall. There it is. Heard that one. Recall coming in and taking down factories and whatnot. So this base at the same time dying. While this is not being dealt with. This is turning into a bit of a base race scenario. Ladies and gentlemen, place your bets now. Who do you think is going to win? The Terran player Start or the Protoss KwAkSa? As this is a lot of really scary 3-3-1 Protoss right in the production facilities of the Protoss. Of the Terran, rather. A lot of probes going to get killed here for KwAkSa, though. That's a lot of free probes, man. They thought they were hiding. They were not. Dude, how are they alive? No, finish them off. You have to kill those guys. All right, well, sieging it up here. Here comes KwAkSa. He's going to try to wipe out this army now, but there are so many tanks in the mix here. Science vessel back, providing detection, but also doesn't want to die. To the Dragoons. Zealot count is falling apart a little bit here. Now the tanks versus the Dragoons with the upgrades that we're seeing here are still not enough to take down these tanks. High ground. Goodbye, every one of those guys. The main base for Start is completely getting wrecked. Expanding on the right side now is KwAkSa 2. One Goliath, one lonely Goliath with +2 attack finishes off an Arbiter on the right side there. And we are base racing it, man. Natural base is dead. This is the only source of income right now for the Terran player. And this Archon wants to come take them out. He's thinking about it anyway. Pushing up the right side now. Tanks and Goliaths are trying to stop any source of income that KwAkSa has. I don't think it's going to be enough here. I really got to put my money on KwAkSa at this stage of the game. I know the tanks are scary, but he's going to stop. I mean, he isn't able to produce anything else at this stage. He doesn't have any factories to stand on at all. Meanwhile, KwAkSa has a ton of gateways ready to rock. Coming up the south side. Oh my gosh, surviving again. Just barely surviving here. Arbiter trying to take down... trying to take down the siege tank. These units could go this way and finish it off if they wanted. You know, Zealots up here are going to die to Spider Mines. Probably. Thinking about it anyway, but the right side base is done. So yeah, I think the Protoss player has, in fact, just won this game. There's just nothing left for Start. Zealot not going after the SCVs, because, I don't know, maybe he's a friendly dude. Who knows at this stage? And that's it. I think that's your GG. And Start has left the game. KwAkSa gets your victory. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know exactly what made this a Gosu Gamers replay. I mean, the recalls were nice, and the Protoss player went from being totally contained on 3 bases to winning the game, which is cool and fair and everything. But like, no Dark Archons, no weird Terran strats, just kind of he did what he was supposed to do. Just positioning wasn't very good. His macro wasn't as good as the Protoss players was, and he ended up out. So, fair enough. That's what I always say, is fair enough. The end of the game there came down to 162,000 points for start, 185 for KwAkSa. Units killed fairly even. Start even produced more units, but KwAkSa just lost a few fewer, it would seem. Overall structures raised, definitely favoring the Protoss player. And then overall income favoring the Protoss too. He just had more bases, even though that fourth base isn't technically a base because it doesn't have gas. It didn't really matter. He just used them for zealots, and he needed that income anyway, so not a huge deal, right? Right. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. That's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.